So I always like to wrap up a user group by talking about what's new in the product. Since we haven't had a user group in a while, I've got a few different releases to talk about here. I'm going to kind of just go through these a little quickly. You'll have access to these slides as well. And the full release notes are available on BPM Academy. I tried to pull out some of the highlights that I thought would be most interesting or useful to people. So this first one is from the April release 7.14.0. A couple of updates to the core product. Text in multi-line fields is displayed with line breaks when you're editing in a list, so in a detailed view or list view. There's also a new UI for the machine learning models. This is an administrator function where you can set up machine learning and edit how the machine learning is working. The two main areas where there is existing models for you to start with for that is in lead scoring and opportunity scoring. So doing predictive analytics on which leads and which opportunities are most likely to be successful. In the marketing product, there were some improvements on the cloud email service that will make emails send faster. The portal has gotten some changes around how you can configure access permissions. So you can set up different types of portal users now. This is for the customer portal or partner portal function if you're using that. You can have different portal user roles, and there's also the ability to allow customers or partners to have a portal administrator who can then configure certain things for their other portal users from their company. Also included in this release were some mobile changes. So on the mobile, the 10 most recent records will be displayed when you open a section unless you have a filter or folder selected. So that will get rid of the opening up a section and having it look like there's no data there that used to be the way it worked. And there's also some new offline functions where you can access recent records and create new records when you're offline. And a really nice change on the administration side, there's a new access permissions configuration interface. So you can still configure permissions through the advanced settings, the way you have done it if you've done it previously. But there's now a nice UI that makes it a lot easier to navigate, and you can access that from the system settings. In May, we have the 7.14.1 release. A couple of notable things in that release. On the marketing side, they've implemented automatic deduplication for event participants. So if you add multiple folders to an event and someone was in both of those folders, they'll automatically dedupe that list so that they only show in your event participants list once. They've also added new elements to the campaign builder. You can now modify and add records in bpm'online as part of a campaign. So if someone, say, opens your emails or clicks through your email and you want to add a new lead or update a lead or a contact based off of that change, you can do that. And there were also some enhancements for how emails are displayed on mobile devices. And then a follow-up to those portal changes we were talking about on those last slides, those portal administrator users, so your customer portal administrator or your partner portal administrator users can add or remove users for the portal from their company. And then finally, just recently announced the 7.14.2 release in July. Some core updates here include an ability to display aggregate columns and connected object columns in your editable lists, aka your details. Some optimizations to global search to help that work better. And a change to the printables function. So the printables function has traditionally allowed both PDF and docx formats. Based off of usage patterns, there's really not a lot of people using the PDF function, so they've decided that that's not going to be available moving forward, unless you've already got PDFs that are using the PDF. Unless you've already got printables using the PDF function, in which case they'll still be available as PDFs. On the marketing side, they've added the ability to use macros in the sender's name and the email fields. So that would allow you, for example, to send each email from the contact owner rather than sending them all from a generic marketing email address or from a one person's email address. You can make them appear to come from different people. And for the automatic campaigns, the drip campaigns, they've added an ability to re-include someone who's sort of dropped out of a campaign, put them back in after a period of time. There's also an interesting new function being beta tested in the service product. This is specifically right now only available in the cases section, and again, it is beta, so you have to request it if you want this. But they've added the ability to use templates in the feed responses in the cases section. So that's something that I think, depending on how that beta testing goes, we might see that sort of spread out into other areas in the product where it might make sense. So I'm interested to see where that goes. bpm'online also recently announced a new product called bpm'online Studio Free. Essentially, this is a business process management tool or business process design tool. So if you've used the business process builder, the process library tool in bpm'online, it's the same process designer tool, only it's just, designing the process, laying them out on screen. So if you're doing any process planning or system design, this is a really nice tool for being able to quickly and easily document those processes, what the steps are, what the flows are, who's involved in them. It is a free product, as the name suggests. You don't have to use it in connection with your bpm'online subscription. So you might be documenting processes that have nothing to do with bpm'online, and that's totally fine. And one nice feature that is built in is collaboration. So you can have multiple users that you've shared a process with, and they can all be editing that process simultaneously. So similar to, working in Google Docs or Office 365 documents where you can have multiple people editing at the same time. That same functionality is available here. I had enough to talk about already here that I didn't pull any of this into my slides, but I did want to make sure you all knew that bpm'online does also publish some information about what's coming for upcoming releases. So that link is here on the screen. It will be sent out with the recording. And you can see information on that page about what bpm'online has planned for upcoming releases. Nothing, tied necessarily to a specific release or a specific timeline, but still, it's always nice to know what's coming soon. All right, I think that pretty much wraps us up for today. Our next user group will be in September. We'll be talking about how to use business rules in bpm'online. So we'll make sure you have access to the registration link for that. You can always find that on our website as well, and we hope to see you there.